So, I'm here with Alex at IML 2025 in Chicago, and Alex is one of the contestants, really, aren't you?
I am,
Cool.
yeah.
So, how has your experience been so far?
It's been great. My group is, I would say, the most fun group. We are the Miss Americas of IML.
As I saw last night in the pageantry, it was quite amazing. So, we had a chat briefly. You were talking about the work that you do. Could you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, so I work in the risk reduction and HIV field. I mostly do it in the Latino side, monolingual community, so everyone who speaks Spanish. We kind of disguise our sexual health education and HIV education in fun parties. So we throw game nights, we do dance parties, we go to clubs, but it all has a sexual health component to it.
Okay. So, do you feel that that's a better sort of fit for the, am I correct in saying the Latinx community? Or?
Yeah, it is. Because Latinos ages 18 to like 35, they don't really want to go out to just a sex ed class. And a lot of them, for our Latinos ages 18 to 35, they are the ones that are getting HIV the most in the US right now. So we're trying to find different ways to educate our younger audiences, and we found that that was one of the best ways to do it, just disguising it in fun parties.
So, when you say a fun party, are we talking like a quinceañera, or like how do you, like, is it like, like board games or party
everything.
games?
So we try to hit every single little minor community. So sometimes we're at our Latin bar in Dallas, Carrieles. They have like norteño music where you dance. We also do at our space, we always cater food when we have like Latino chat, so we talk about different topics every month, just like dating in Latino communities, or how does kink and fetish look in Latino communities. Those are kind of like the fun parties that we have.
Cool. And would you say that there's a difference in so you've clearly got a different approach to how you're going to deliver the message, but the actual messages, is there a difference that people should be aware of when they're looking to offer good quality sex education to people who may not be as easily accessed through an event, say, like IML?
Yeah, I would say meet them where they are. One of the biggest things that we put into our work is dressing like them and also being one of them, having the same lived experience as them, and knowing what worked for us and putting it into the work that we put out. Nobody's gonna listen to a man in a suit and tie when they're wearing boots and cowboy jeans. Yeah.
So would you say that that this is one of your presentation outfits, or you wore it on the first night?
I did. So this is a very special outfit for me. I grew up in the rodeo world. My dad would always push us to go do the rodeo, and I actually did bull riding for a little bit. But he never let me wear the flashy overalls that I saw on the other girls and boys. He always made me get like the brown or the black. So now that I have adult money, I was like, I'm gonna reclaim the color. So I had to get some flashy ones.
In your culture, would wearing flashy colors be associated with homosexuality, or is it just that your dad really wasn't into Brighton?
No, it is. Anytime you wear any flashy clothes, any pinks or anything, you're gay. It is un joto. You're a fag. That's basically what they would say. And I've always been against the grain, so I never really. I am a bit of a masculine guy, but I like what I like.
How did you come to connect to the leather community?
So the first time I interacted with the leather community was with Mr. Christopher and Pup Amp. They have a YouTube channel called What's the Safe Word? In middle school, I actually found them. Yeah,
wow.
I know. It was, yeah.
You grew up with YouTube. How exciting is that?
I did, yeah. So I found drag and leather from YouTube.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who's your number one drag queen?
Adore Delano.
Adore Delano?
Adore Delano, yeah.
Wow.
I love Adore. We're both Libras, so I have to love her.
And Adore's not currently, Adore is now, essentially she's trans. Well, she is trans, but
Yeah.
she's looking very, very feminine and living the life now.
She is. She looks happy in her skin. And I'm glad she's looking happy in her skin now.
Is transsexuality or being intersex, is that, how does that fit into the Latinx culture?
So that's funny that you asked that, because recently in Mexico there is a show called La Casa de los Famosos. It's like Big Brother, like Celebrity Big Brother.
Yep.
And we actually had a first trans woman go on the show. It was the first season since they rebooted.
Yep.
Called Wendy Guevara. She is from León, Guanajuato, and she actually won the show.
Oh, wow.
Everyone in Mexico was so infatuated by her and her
Yep.
story. You know, she grew up with no money, so she had to basically sell her body. She was a sex worker on the streets, and she had such an amazing story that made all of Mexico fall in love with her, which is a big stepping stone, because Mexico is not very accepting of the gay and trans community.
Okay.
So for all of Mexico to fall in love with her, it has really changed how Mexico looks at our gay community.
Wow.
Yeah.
And interesting parallel in Big Brother UK many years ago, I think maybe even 10 or so years ago, there was a trans person, a trans femme in the show, and she won as well. And she was Spanish. So what is it? What's going on?
I know.
Is it the frijole or...
We just have better personalities in the gay community.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And this has been shining, and it was absolutely shining on stage last night.
Thank you.
But we are living in a climate at the moment where LGBTIQ community are fearful, and I imagine the trans community are fearful. How is that showing up in where you live?
It's showing up a lot. I live in Texas, so it's a very, very red state. Besides the 4 major cities that are blue, we're still surrounded by a lot of red. So we have seen a decline in our trans folk and our Latinx folk showing up, and we can't do that. We cannot hide, and that's what the administration wants to do to us. They want us to be fearful of coming out and just erase us. Yeah.
Do you have you seen, you mentioned a decline, but do you carry concern that if you were to bring a group of people together, that immigration could just suddenly turn up and cause issues?
Oh yeah, just because not just immigrants are getting deported, but also citizens, people like me who were born here but whose parents were not born here. We've seen those people also get deported back to El Salvador to the prison, and that's not really getting reported on. So it is scary, but for me, I have to keep showing up and showing out, because if I don't, then my participants won't, and we can't do that.
Absolutely. What is your education? What is your message to people within your community about staying safe in the current environment?
Just keep updated with all the current events. You can follow me on social media. I always post current events that are happening, any bills that are getting passed. Executive orders don't mean shit, so please don't listen to those. Just stay educated.
What would be the best way for people to contact you? What are your socials?
So on Instagram, I'm Leather Vaquero, so it's LTHR Vaquero. On Facebook, I have Mr. Hidden Door, and I also have Alex Torres, so you can find me on there.
Amazing. If you were to have one message that you would like to share with the community, what would that be?
Be true to yourself. I was ashamed of my culture for so long. As a first generation Mexican American, I hated that I went to school not knowing English. Spanish was my first language, and I had to go to school speaking very choppy English. And I was very ashamed of that. I got made fun of a lot, and even the food I brought to school, some people would say, oh, it smells nasty. So that's something that I hated when I was in my teen years. But my culture is beautiful, and your culture is beautiful. So just embrace it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. I know that this must be absolutely frantic for the participants and the competitors in IML. And I wish you the absolute best
Thank
for
you.
the rest of the weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you.